Back in the day, 4th of July celebrations were all about family, tradition, and of course, food. But before fancy BBQs and gourmet twists, American families gathered around tables filled with simple, hearty dishes passed down through generations. Today, I'm taking you back to those good old days when Betty Crocker's cookbooks were the backbone of holiday feasts, and the recipes were as timeless as the spirit of independence itself. Let's rediscover 20 forgotten 4th of July recipes that will bring those classic flavors back to life and remind us of the true essence of this American tradition. Patriotic Jell-O salad. When you think of a vintage 4th of July spread, there's one dish that immediately comes to mind: Jell-O salad. And not just any Jell-O salad, but the vibrant patriotic Jell-O salad that graced the tables of family gatherings during the mid-20th century. This colorful dessert was as much about presentation as it was about flavor. Layers of red, white, and blue Jell-O created a visual feast, while the creamy middle layer offered a refreshing contrast to the tart fruit gelatin layers. It was the kind of dish that wasn't just a treat, it was an event. People were as excited about seeing it set up in the fridge as they were about digging in. What makes this patriotic Jell-O salad so special is the layering effect that gives it its signature red, white, and blue look. The layers are made from different flavors of Jell-O: cherry for the red, blueberry for the blue, and a creamy layer in between. The white layer is made from a mixture of sweetened condensed milk, which adds a rich and creamy texture to the otherwise firm and bouncy Jell-O layers. The result is a multi-textured, vibrant dish that makes your 4th of July picnic or barbecue feel just a little more festive. To make the salad, you start by preparing the red layer. The cherry Jell-O is dissolved in boiling water, then mixed with cold water and left to set in a rectangular dish. Once the red layer is firm, you prepare the white layer. This is where things get interesting. The sweetened condensed milk is combined with unflavored gelatin and a little cold water to create a creamy texture that contrasts beautifully with the gelatin layers. After the white layer sets, it's time to make the blue layer, which is made from blueberry Jell-O. After each layer is prepared, the whole salad needs time to chill in the refrigerator to allow the Jell-O to fully set. The real charm of this dish is in how it captures the spirit of the 4th of July, with its vibrant red, white, and blue colors and its light, refreshing taste. The contrast between the tangy fruit flavors and the smooth, creamy filling gives this Jell-O salad a wonderful balance that works perfectly as a side dish or a dessert. It's light enough to enjoy after a heavy barbecue meal, but rich enough to feel like a special treat. Betty Crocker's patriotic Jell-O salad isn't just a dessert, it's a statement piece for your holiday table. Its beautiful colors mimic the American flag, giving it a visual impact that's hard to beat. And while it may seem a bit retro, this salad has stood the test of time because of its refreshing flavors and easy preparation. Whether you're serving it at a picnic, a family reunion, or your backyard 4th of July BBQ, it's sure to be a crowd pleaser. So the next time you're looking to bring a little nostalgia to your celebration, consider making this classic patriotic Jell-O salad. It's a simple yet stunning dish that celebrates both tradition and the joy of gathering together. Classic American potato salad. No 4th of July celebration would feel complete without a big, heaping bowl of classic American potato salad. This dish is as American as apple pie, and it's been a staple at summer picnics, barbecues, and family gatherings for decades. Betty Crocker's version from the 1960s and 70s takes this humble side dish and elevates it with a creamy, tangy dressing and the perfect balance of crunchy and tender ingredients. It's hearty, comforting, and, let's face it, completely irresistible. What makes classic American potato salad stand out is its simplicity. The potatoes are boiled until just tender, firm enough to hold their shape, but soft enough to absorb all that creamy, tangy dressing. The dressing itself is a perfect blend of mayonnaise, mustard, and vinegar, with a dash of sugar to balance the tanginess. This simple yet rich dressing gives the potato salad a satisfying creaminess, while the mustard adds a little zing. It's the kind of salad that's both comforting and refreshing, making it a perfect side dish for your summer barbecue or 4th of July picnic. To make Betty Crocker's classic American potato salad, you begin by boiling your potatoes. It's important to use the right kind of potatoes. Waxy potatoes like red or new potatoes hold their shape well when boiled, which is key to creating a salad that doesn't become a mushy mess. Once the potatoes are cooked and cooled slightly, they're cut into bite-sized cubes, ready to absorb the dressing. The next step is to prepare the dressing. Betty's recipe calls for mayonnaise as the base, which creates a creamy texture, while yellow mustard gives the dressing a tangy kick. A splash of vinegar adds just the right amount of acidity to balance the richness, and a spoonful of sugar helps to round out the flavors. After the dressing is mixed, it's time to stir in some finely chopped celery and onion, which add crunch and freshness to the salad. A sprinkle of salt and pepper ensures everything is seasoned just right. Once the potatoes are combined with the dressing, it's important to chill the salad for at least an hour before serving. This allows the flavors to meld together and gives the potatoes time to soak up the creamy dressing. For extra flavor, you can garnish the top with a sprinkle of paprika or fresh herbs like parsley. Betty Crocker's classic American potato salad is the kind of dish that always brings people back for seconds. It's the perfect balance of creamy, tangy, and crunchy, making it an ideal side for all your summer favorites. Whether you're serving it with grilled burgers, hot dogs, or barbecued chicken, this potato salad is sure to steal the show. It's a timeless recipe that never goes out of style, and no summer celebration feels complete without it. So, the next time you're planning your 4th of July feast, be sure to make this classic dish. It's a crowd pleaser and a true taste of Americana. Deviled eggs with a twist. Deviled eggs have long been a staple at 4th of July picnics and summer barbecues, and Betty Crocker's deviled eggs with a twist from the 1970s takes this classic appetizer to the next level. What makes these eggs so special? It's the little kick of heat and extra flavor that's added to the filling, bringing something fresh and unexpected to a dish that's often predictable. The creamy yolk mixture is infused with tangy mustard, a hint of horseradish for a spicy kick, and just a touch of vinegar to balance everything out. The result? Deviled eggs that are as delicious as they are memorable, making them the perfect party snack or side for your 4th of July feast. The beauty of deviled eggs with a twist lies in their balance of classic flavor and a new zing. The traditional ingredients, mayonnaise, mustard, and egg yolks, are all still there, but the horseradish adds a surprising heat that perfectly complements the creaminess of the yolk mixture. And of course, no deviled egg is complete without a sprinkle of paprika to add a pop of color and a little smoky flavor to finish them off. To make this recipe, start by hard-boiling your eggs. The trick to perfect deviled eggs is to get the yolks cooked through but not overcooked, as this can make the filling dry. Once the eggs are boiled, carefully peel them and slice them in half. Scoop out the yolks and place them in a bowl. The next step is to create the creamy, tangy filling that will transform these eggs into something special. To the yolks, add mayonnaise to create a rich base, followed by a spoonful of yellow mustard for a familiar tang. The real twist comes with the horseradish. Add it a little at a time until the mixture reaches the level of heat you desire. Then, stir in a splash of vinegar to cut through the richness and bring the flavors into balance. Season with salt and pepper to taste, and you're ready to fill your eggs. Once the filling is mixed to perfection, spoon it back into the hollowed-out egg whites. If you want to get a little fancy, use a piping bag or a plastic sandwich bag with the tip cut off to pipe the filling neatly into the eggs. This adds a nice touch of presentation, making your deviled eggs look as good as they taste. Finish the eggs with a dusting of paprika for color and a hint of smoky flavor. These deviled eggs with a twist are a perfect addition to your 4th of July spread. The combination of creamy yolk filling and the spicy horseradish gives them a unique twist that sets them apart from the usual deviled eggs you might find at a family gathering. Whether you're serving them as an appetizer or as part of a larger buffet, these eggs will quickly become a crowd favorite. They're easy to make, packed with flavor, and the kind of dish that's both comforting and exciting. Perfect for celebrating the flavors of summer and tradition with just a little extra kick. Cherry Coke Float. There's something so nostalgic about a cherry Coke float. The combination of rich, fizzy Coke and creamy vanilla ice cream, topped off with a splash of cherry syrup. This retro treat brings back memories of summer afternoons, sipping on a cool float while enjoying the warmth of the season and the joy of good company. Inspired by the soda fountain days of the 1940s and 1950s, Betty Crocker's Cherry Coke Float takes this classic treat and adds a little extra fun with the addition of cherry syrup for that signature tangy sweet burst. What makes this Cherry Coke Float so irresistible is the perfect balance between the sweet, fizzy soda and the creamy, indulgent ice cream. The effervescent Coca-Cola bubbles up and mingles with the rich vanilla ice cream, creating a dreamy, frothy texture that's both refreshing and decadent at the same time. The cherry syrup adds a pop of color and a deep sweetness that makes every sip feel like a little indulgence, a celebration of the carefree joy of summer. To make this simple yet satisfying treat, start by preparing your ingredients: Coca-Cola, vanilla ice cream, and cherry syrup. Betty's recipe calls for classic Coke, but you can substitute with a caffeine-free version if preferred, or even opt for a cherry-flavored soda for an extra twist. For the ice cream, choose a good quality vanilla that will complement the flavors of the Coke and cherry syrup without overpowering them. To assemble your cherry Coke float, fill a tall glass about 3/4 full with cold Coca-Cola. Then pour a tablespoon or two of cherry syrup into the glass, depending on how sweet you like your float. Stir the syrup into the Coke gently to combine, but be careful not to stir too vigorously, or the fizz will dissipate. The result should be a lightly cherry-flavored soda with all the familiar Coke sweetness. Next, carefully add a scoop or two of vanilla ice cream to the glass. The ice cream will float on top of the Coke, and as it begins to melt, it'll create that perfect creamy layer that combines beautifully with the fizzy soda. The bubbles from the Coke will rise up around the ice cream, creating a frothy, dreamy top that invites you to dive right in with a spoon or straw. You can garnish the float with a maraschino cherry on top for that extra retro touch and a little more sweetness. This cherry Coke float is the kind of treat that feels like a special occasion in itself. It's perfect for cooling down on a hot 4th of July afternoon, offering a satisfying dessert without being overly heavy. The combination of sweet, tangy, and creamy makes it the ultimate nostalgic indulgence, perfect for reliving those simpler summer moments. Whether you're serving it at a picnic, a backyard barbecue, or just enjoying it at home with friends or family, the Cherry Coke float is sure to bring smiles to faces and create some sweet memories. Betty Crocker's Cherry Coke float may be a throwback, but it's one that never goes out of style. It's a fun, fizzy treat that makes every 4th of July celebration a little bit sweeter and a lot more nostalgic. So grab a glass, scoop in some ice cream, and raise a toast to the joy of summer. Barbecued chicken drumsticks. There's no dish more synonymous with summer than barbecued chicken, and Betty Crocker's barbecued chicken drumsticks is the perfect recipe to make your 4th of July celebration truly memorable. These drumsticks are tender, juicy, and packed with flavor, all while being coated in a sticky, sweet, and tangy barbecue sauce that's hard to resist. The recipe combines simple ingredients, a little patience, and a lot of love, transforming the humble chicken drumstick into a barbecue masterpiece. Whether you're grilling outdoors or baking them in the oven, these drumsticks are sure to be the hit of the picnic. What makes Betty Crocker's barbecued chicken drumsticks so special is the sauce. The barbecue sauce, made from ketchup, vinegar, brown sugar, and a few other ingredients, creates a rich, glossy glaze that clings to the chicken perfectly. The vinegar adds a bit of tang, while the brown sugar gives the sauce a deep sweetness. The key to this recipe is getting the balance of sweet, tangy, and smoky just right, which is what makes these drumsticks stand out from the crowd. To make this dish, you start by preparing the chicken. Drumsticks are the ideal cut for this recipe because they're flavorful, easy to handle, and cook relatively quickly. You'll want to season them with salt and pepper first, giving them a base layer of flavor before applying the barbecue sauce. The key to getting the perfect crispy skin and juicy meat is in the cooking method. If you're grilling the chicken, preheat the grill and cook the drumsticks over medium heat. You want to cook them slowly so that they cook through without burning the skin, turning them occasionally to get that even char. Grilling them imparts that smoky flavor that makes barbecued chicken so irresistible. If grilling isn't an option, you can easily bake the drumsticks in the oven. Place the seasoned chicken on a baking sheet and cook them at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes, or until they're golden brown and fully cooked. The oven method allows you to get a perfectly crispy skin on the drumsticks while keeping the meat juicy and tender. Once the chicken is almost fully cooked, it's time to glaze it with that rich barbecue sauce. In a small saucepan, combine ketchup, brown sugar, vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, and a little mustard. Stir it all together and simmer for a few minutes until it thickens into a glossy, sticky sauce. Brush the sauce generously over the drumsticks and cook them for an additional 5 to 10 minutes to allow the glaze to caramelize and the flavors to meld. This step is crucial because it gives the drumsticks that beautiful, sticky glaze that makes each bite irresistible. Once the drumsticks are cooked to perfection, serve them hot with extra barbecue sauce on the side for dipping. These barbecued chicken drumsticks are the perfect dish for a 4th of July feast. They're easy to make, full of flavor, and a guaranteed crowd pleaser. Whether you're serving them alongside potato salad, baked beans, or corn on the cob, these drumsticks will undoubtedly become a favorite at your holiday table. So fire up the grill or preheat the oven. This recipe is the perfect way to bring a little extra flavor and fun to your 4th of July celebration. Red, white, and blue fruit salad. Nothing says 4th of July quite like a red, white, and blue fruit salad. This simple yet vibrant dish captures the colors of the American flag and brings together the fresh, natural sweetness of summer fruits. Betty Crocker's version of this fruit salad is the perfect side dish to serve alongside your barbecued meats, offering a refreshing, light contrast to the heavier fare. It's not only easy to prepare, but also visually stunning with its bright red strawberries, sweet white watermelon, and deep blue blueberries. Whether you're looking to add a healthy option to your 4th of July spread or just want to celebrate the season with a colorful and delicious treat, this fruit salad is a perfect choice. What makes this red, white, and blue fruit salad so special is the combination of fresh, seasonal fruits that are as healthy as they are beautiful. Watermelon, strawberries, and blueberries provide a perfect balance of sweetness and tartness, each offering a burst of flavor that feels as fresh as the summer air. The watermelon, with its crisp texture and juicy sweetness, provides a bright contrast to the plump blueberries and tangy strawberries. The beauty of this salad lies in its simplicity. No heavy dressing or complicated ingredients are needed, just the natural sweetness of the fruit, lightly tossed together to let each flavor shine. To make this red, white, and blue fruit salad, you'll begin by preparing your fruits. Start with a ripe watermelon. You'll want to remove the rind and cut the watermelon into bite-sized cubes, discarding the seeds as you go. Watermelon is naturally sweet and juicy, making it the perfect white fruit in this patriotic salad. Next, hull and slice the strawberries, cutting them into quarters or halves depending on their size. The red color of the strawberries brings the dish to life, offering a tart contrast to the sweetness of the watermelon. Finally, wash and dry the blueberries. These little blue gems provide that perfect pop of color and a burst of tangy sweetness that balances out the watermelon and strawberries. Once all the fruit is prepared, gently toss them together in a large bowl, making sure the colors are evenly distributed for a stunning presentation. The salad is so beautiful on its own, you don't even need a dressing. Just a sprinkle of freshly chopped mint or a squeeze of lime juice can enhance the natural flavors if desired. The lime juice will add a subtle, citrusy zing that lifts the sweetness of the fruit without overpowering it. A light toss of mint leaves can also give a refreshing herbal note to the salad, adding both flavor and fragrance. This red, white, and blue fruit salad is a great addition to any 4th of July menu. Not only does it celebrate the colors of the holiday, but it's also a healthy, refreshing dish that pairs beautifully with all the other grilled and hearty foods on your table. Plus, it's a dish that can be made ahead of time. Just cover it and refrigerate until you're ready to serve. Whether you're hosting a big barbecue or enjoying a smaller family gathering, this fruit salad will add a touch of color, flavor, and fun to your holiday spread. So, grab your favorite summer fruits and let the vibrant colors and fresh flavors of this salad bring a little extra joy to your 4th of July celebration. Baked beans with bacon. When it comes to classic 4th of July sides, baked beans with bacon is a dish that always steals the spotlight. There's something about the combination of smoky bacon, sweet beans, and a tangy, flavorful sauce that makes this dish a true crowd pleaser. Betty Crocker's version, with its rich, savory taste and hearty texture, is the perfect accompaniment to any barbecue or picnic spread. The addition of bacon takes the traditional baked beans to the next level, infusing the dish with a deep, savory flavor that makes it both comforting and irresistible. The beauty of this dish lies in its simplicity. You start with canned baked beans, which are quick and convenient, but still provide that rich, comforting base. From there, it's all about enhancing the flavors with a few key ingredients: bacon, onion, brown sugar, and a touch of mustard and Worcestershire sauce. These ingredients come together in perfect harmony, creating a balanced sauce that's both sweet and tangy, with a smoky depth from the bacon. The beans soak up all the flavors as they bake, resulting in a dish that is warm, hearty, and packed with flavor. To make Betty Crocker's baked beans with bacon, start by cooking the bacon in a large skillet until it's crispy and golden brown. The bacon will release its fat, which is perfect for sautéing the onions. After the bacon is cooked, remove it from the skillet, leaving the rendered fat behind. Add finely chopped onion to the skillet and cook it in the bacon fat until it becomes soft and translucent. This step adds a wonderful depth of flavor to the beans and sets the foundation for the sauce. Next, stir in the canned baked beans along with a bit of brown sugar, mustard, and Worcestershire sauce. The brown sugar adds sweetness to balance the tang of the mustard and vinegar, while the Worcestershire sauce deepens the flavor with its rich umami. Crumble the cooked bacon back into the mixture and give everything a good stir to combine. The beans should be well coated in the sauce, and the bacon should be evenly distributed. Once everything is mixed, transfer the beans to a baking dish and bake them in a preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes. The beans should be hot, bubbly, and slightly thickened by the time they're done. The result is a dish that's both savory and sweet, with smoky bacon adding richness to the already satisfying beans. Betty Crocker's baked beans with bacon is the perfect side dish for your 4th of July feast. It pairs beautifully with grilled meats like burgers, ribs, or chicken, and its hearty flavor makes it an essential addition to any summer barbecue. Whether you're serving it at a big picnic or a more intimate family gathering, these baked beans are sure to be a hit. So grab your ingredients, fire up the oven, and enjoy a timeless, flavorful side that everyone will love. Classic coleslaw. No 4th of July picnic or barbecue feels complete without a bowl of classic coleslaw. This simple, creamy salad is a staple of American summer gatherings, providing a refreshing, crunchy contrast to heavier dishes like grilled meats and potato salad. Betty Crocker's version from the 1960s is the epitome of the classic coleslaw. Finely shredded cabbage, crisp carrots, and a creamy dressing that's tangy, sweet, and perfectly balanced. It's easy to make, incredibly satisfying, and a dish that everyone loves to reach for. What makes classic coleslaw so special is the balance of textures and flavors. The cabbage provides the bulk, offering a satisfying crunch, while the carrots add a bit of sweetness and vibrant color. The dressing, made from mayonnaise, vinegar, and a touch of sugar, ties everything together in a rich, tangy sauce that's both creamy and refreshing. It's the perfect side dish to complement smoky barbecued ribs, burgers, or hot dogs, adding a light, crisp element to your 4th of July spread. To make Betty Crocker's classic coleslaw, you start by shredding the cabbage and carrots. You can use a sharp knife, but a mandolin or box grater will give you thin, even slices of cabbage and finely grated carrots. The key is to make sure the vegetables are finely shredded, as it allows the dressing to coat them evenly, ensuring every bite has the perfect balance of creamy dressing and crunchy vegetables. Next, make the dressing. In a large bowl, combine mayonnaise, vinegar, and a little sugar. The mayo provides the creaminess, while the vinegar adds just the right amount of tang. The sugar helps balance out the acidity, creating a smooth, slightly sweet dressing that perfectly complements the cabbage and carrots. Add a pinch of salt and pepper to taste, and if you like, you can include a little mustard or celery seed for extra flavor. Some people also like to add a splash of lemon juice for an extra burst of freshness. Once the dressing is mixed, toss it with the shredded cabbage and carrots until everything is well coated. Make sure the vegetables are fully submerged in the dressing to allow the flavors to meld together. Once mixed, cover the coleslaw and let it chill in the refrigerator for at least an hour. This gives the cabbage time to absorb the dressing, softening slightly and becoming even more flavorful. Betty Crocker's classic coleslaw is best served chilled, making it an ideal make-ahead dish for your 4th of July celebration. It's light, crunchy, and creamy all at once, with a perfect balance of sweet and tangy flavors. This timeless side dish pairs beautifully with grilled meats, baked beans, and, of course, potato salad, making it the ultimate addition to your summer spread. So, next time you're preparing for a holiday feast, don't forget this classic, crowd-pleasing recipe. Old-fashioned meatloaf sandwiches. When you think of classic comfort food, old-fashioned meatloaf sandwiches are sure to come to mind. This retro dish takes a hearty, flavorful meatloaf and transforms it into the perfect handheld meal. Betty Crocker's version from the mid-20th century captures the essence of what made meatloaf such a beloved dish, savory, satisfying, and wonderfully simple. Served as a sandwich, it brings a new twist to the classic meatloaf, making it perfect for a casual 4th of July picnic or a quick family dinner the day after a big celebration. What makes old-fashioned meatloaf sandwiches so irresistible is the combination of juicy, well-seasoned meatloaf paired with soft, fresh bread. The meatloaf itself is made with ground beef, or a mix of beef and pork, and seasoned with ingredients like onions, garlic, Worcestershire sauce, and breadcrumbs. This mixture is baked until perfectly tender and coated with a tangy glaze made from ketchup and brown sugar. The result is a savory loaf with a slightly sweet crust, making it the ideal filling for a hearty sandwich. To make Betty Crocker's old-fashioned meatloaf sandwiches, you start by preparing the meatloaf. Begin by combining ground beef, breadcrumbs, eggs, and seasonings in a large mixing bowl. Add finely chopped onions, garlic, and a generous splash of Worcestershire sauce, which give the meatloaf a rich, savory flavor. Once everything is mixed together, shape the mixture into a loaf and bake it in a preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 60 minutes or until fully cooked through. Halfway through baking, spread a simple glaze made from ketchup and brown sugar over the top of the meatloaf to create that signature tangy sweet crust. Once the meatloaf is baked and cooled slightly, slice it into thick pieces. The key to a great meatloaf sandwich is having thick, juicy slices of meatloaf that won't fall apart when you bite into them. Next, you'll need fresh bread, something soft but sturdy enough to hold up to the hearty filling. Betty Crocker's recipe calls for classic white bread, but you could also use whole wheat or soft rolls for an extra touch of texture. To assemble the sandwiches, take 2 slices of bread and add a generous portion of meatloaf between them. For extra flavor, you can add a spread of mustard, mayonnaise, or even extra ketchup. Add a few slices of cheese, such as cheddar or American, to make the sandwich even more indulgent. Once your sandwiches are assembled, serve them warm and enjoy the simple, comforting flavors that make this dish a classic. Old-fashioned meatloaf sandwiches are the perfect way to enjoy the leftovers from a meatloaf dinner, turning a classic dish into an easy-to-eat, satisfying sandwich. Whether you're serving them for lunch the day after a holiday feast or packing them for a picnic, these sandwiches bring the warmth and comfort of homemade meatloaf into a portable form, making them the perfect addition to any 4th of July celebration of types. Corn on the cob with herb butter. When it comes to 4th of July meals, few dishes are as iconic as corn on the cob. This humble vegetable, often grilled or boiled, is the perfect side dish for a summer celebration, and Betty Crocker's corn on the cob with herb butter takes it to the next level. The sweet, juicy corn is elevated with a rich, aromatic herb butter that coats each ear, making it the perfect accompaniment to your barbecue or picnic spread. The combination of fresh herbs, creamy butter here, and the natural sweetness of the corn creates a flavor that's both simple and sophisticated. What makes corn on the cob with herb butter so special is how it enhances the natural sweetness of the corn while adding a layer of savory richness from the butter and herbs. The buttery mixture, flavored with parsley, chives, and a hint of garlic, is the perfect complement to the tender, juicy kernels. It's the kind of dish that feels indulgent without being overly complicated, making it a go-to side for any summer gathering, especially a 4th of July feast. To make this corn on the cob with herb butter, you begin by preparing the corn. Fresh, sweet corn is ideal for this recipe, and you can either boil or grill it. Both methods work beautifully. To boil the corn, simply drop the husked ears into a large pot of salted boiling water and cook for about 7 to 10 minutes until the kernels are tender but still crisp. Alternatively, you can grill the corn for a more smoky flavor. Preheat the grill, then place the corn directly on the grate and cook for about 10 to 12 minutes, turning occasionally until the kernels are tender and lightly charred. While the corn is cooking, you'll prepare the herb butter. In a small bowl, combine softened butter with finely chopped fresh herbs, parsley, chives, and a little garlic for added depth of flavor. The fresh herbs bring a burst of color and flavor that perfectly complements the sweet corn. Add a pinch of salt and pepper to taste, and for an extra touch, you can stir in a squeeze of fresh lemon juice to brighten the flavors. Once the corn is cooked, remove it from the pot or grill and let it cool for a moment. While it's still hot, generously slather the herb butter all over each ear of corn, allowing the butter to melt and soak into the warm kernels. The result is corn that's tender, juicy, and bursting with flavor, each bite enhanced by the fresh, aromatic butter. Betty Crocker's corn on the cob with herb butter is the ultimate side dish for your 4th of July feast. It's easy to make, visually stunning with its golden kernels and green herb accents, and it perfectly balances the richness of grilled meats and other hearty dishes. Whether you're grilling, boiling, or roasting your corn, this herb butter adds just the right amount of sophistication to this beloved summer vegetable. Malted milkshakes. Nothing says classic Americana quite like a malted milkshake. This creamy, frothy treat hails from the 1940s and 50s when soda fountains were the heart of many social gatherings. Betty Crocker's malted milkshake brings this retro favorite to life with a smooth blend of vanilla ice cream, milk, and malted milk powder, creating a dessert that's both indulgent and nostalgic. The malted milk powder gives the shake its signature flavor, slightly sweet, nutty, and deeply satisfying. This is the kind of treat that makes you feel like you've stepped back in time to a simpler, more carefree era, making it the perfect addition to any 4th of July celebration. The charm of a malted milkshake lies in its simplicity. The ingredients are minimal, yet when combined, they create a deliciously rich, creamy treat that's hard to beat. The malted milk powder adds depth to the vanilla ice cream, giving it that unmistakable malted flavor you can't get from regular milkshakes. It's the perfect balance of creamy, sweet, and slightly toasty, with just enough texture to make each sip a delightful experience. To make Betty Crocker's malted milkshake, you begin by gathering your ingredients: good quality vanilla ice cream, milk, and malted milk powder. The key to making the perfect milkshake is using high-quality ingredients, as they really shine in this simple dessert. Start by adding 2 to 3 scoops of vanilla ice cream into a blender. The amount of ice cream depends on how thick you like your shake. More ice cream will give you a thicker shake, while less will make it a bit more liquid. Next, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of malted milk powder. The more malted milk powder you add, the more pronounced the flavor will be, so feel free to adjust it to your taste. Then pour in about 1 cup of milk, adjusting the amount based on how thick or thin you want your shake to be. Blend everything together on high until smooth and frothy. If the shake is too thick for your liking, you can always add a bit more milk to thin it out. Once the shake reaches the perfect consistency, pour it into a tall glass and top it with a dollop of whipped cream. For a little extra fun, garnish with a maraschino cherry on top, and perhaps even a drizzle of chocolate syrup or a sprinkling of malted milk powder for added flair. Betty Crocker's malted milkshake is the ultimate nostalgic indulgence that's both refreshing and satisfying, perfect for sipping on a hot 4th of July afternoon. It's easy to make, and with its creamy texture and malted flavor, it's bound to be a hit with both kids and adults alike. So, gather your ingredients, fire up the blender, and enjoy this retro treat that brings a touch of classic Americana to your celebration. Cucumber sandwiches. Cucumber sandwiches are the epitome of classic elegance and simplicity, making them a perfect addition to any 4th of July picnic or afternoon tea. Betty Crocker's version of these dainty treats takes the humble cucumber and transforms it into a refreshing, light snack that is both delicious and visually appealing. With their crisp, fresh cucumbers paired with a creamy spread and served on soft, tender bread, these sandwiches are the perfect balance of cool, crunchy, and creamy. The magic of cucumber sandwiches lies in their simplicity and the perfect combination of flavors. The key ingredients, thinly sliced cucumber, soft white bread, and a tangy cream cheese spread, come together to create a refreshing bite that isn't too heavy, making it a great choice to balance out the richness of other barbecue dishes. The fresh cucumbers provide the perfect crunch and subtle sweetness, while the creamy spread adds a rich contrast. To make Betty Crocker's cucumber sandwiches, you start by preparing your cucumbers. It's essential to slice them as thinly as possible, ensuring that each bite has that delightful crunch without being overwhelming. A mandolin slicer is perfect for this, as it ensures uniform slices. Once sliced, it's a good idea to sprinkle a little salt on the cucumbers and let them sit for a few minutes to draw out some of their water. This step prevents the sandwiches from becoming soggy, ensuring that the cucumbers stay crisp. While the cucumbers are resting, prepare the spread. The base of the spread is cream cheese, which provides a smooth, rich texture. Mix the softened cream cheese with a little mayonnaise to lighten it up, then add a squeeze of fresh lemon juice for a hint of citrusy tang. A small amount of Dijon mustard or freshly chopped dill can add an additional layer of flavor depending on your taste preferences. Stir everything together until the spread is smooth and well combined. Next, you'll need your bread. Betty Crocker's recipe calls for soft white bread, but you could also use whole wheat or rye if you prefer a bit more texture. For a more refined presentation, remove the crusts from the bread. This gives the sandwiches a delicate, elegant look that's perfect for picnics or tea parties. Spread a generous layer of the cream cheese mixture on each slice of bread, ensuring it's evenly coated. Now, it's time to assemble the sandwiches. Lay the thin cucumber slices on top of one slice of the bread, ensuring they are well distributed and cover the surface evenly. Place the second slice of bread on top, gently pressing down to hold everything together. For a professional touch, cut the sandwiches into quarters or finger-sized pieces, creating bite-sized portions that are easy to serve and eat. Betty Crocker's cucumber sandwiches are light, refreshing, and full of flavor, making them the perfect addition to your 4th of July spread. With their cool, crisp cucumbers and creamy spread, they offer a refreshing contrast to the heavier grilled foods typically served during summer gatherings. These sandwiches are not only easy to make, but also bring an air of sophistication and charm to any table, making them a delightful treat for both kids and adults alike. So, the next time you're preparing for a holiday feast, consider adding these elegant cucumber sandwiches to your spread. They're sure to be a hit. Watermelon pie. When summer arrives, few fruits are as synonymous with the season as watermelon. Its juicy, refreshing flavor and vibrant color make it a perfect treat for hot 4th of July days. But Betty Crocker's watermelon pie takes this iconic fruit and turns it into something unexpected and extraordinary. This no-bake dessert captures the essence of summer in a simple yet stunning pie that's both refreshing and indulgent, with a creamy, watermelon-flavored filling nestled in a crisp, graham cracker crust. This pie is a fun, creative way to enjoy the sweet flavors of watermelon in a whole new way. What makes watermelon pie so special is how it perfectly balances the natural sweetness of watermelon with the richness of a smooth, custard-like filling. The bright, fruity taste of watermelon shines through, while the creamy filling provides a luxurious texture that complements the fresh fruit without overpowering it. The graham cracker crust adds the perfect amount of crunch, making every bite satisfying and complete. To make Betty Crocker's watermelon pie, start by preparing the graham cracker crust. In a bowl, combine crushed graham crackers, sugar, and melted butter, then press the mixture into the bottom of a pie pan to form a crust. Bake it for about 10 minutes at 350 degrees, just until it's golden and firm. This simple crust provides a buttery contrast to the light filling, giving the pie the perfect balance of texture. Next, prepare the watermelon filling. Start by cutting fresh watermelon into chunks and blending it into a smooth puree. Strain the puree to remove any pulp or seeds, leaving you with just the vibrant watermelon juice. In a saucepan, combine unflavored gelatin with sugar, then heat it gently until the gelatin dissolves and the mixture is smooth. Stir the watermelon juice into the gelatin mixture, then allow it to cool slightly. Once the gelatin mixture has cooled, fold in some whipped cream or a dollop of sweetened condensed milk to give the pie its creamy consistency. This adds a richness that perfectly complements the fresh fruitiness of the watermelon. Once everything is mixed, pour the filling into the pre-baked graham cracker crust. Smooth the top with a spatula and refrigerate for several hours or until the pie has fully set. The cooling time is essential for allowing the filling to firm up into that smooth, custard-like texture. Once the pie is fully set, you can garnish it with fresh watermelon slices or a sprinkle of mint for a touch of color and extra flavor. The end result is a pie that is not only visually striking with its bright pink filling, but also incredibly refreshing. It's light, slightly sweet, and perfect for a warm summer day. Betty Crocker's watermelon pie is the ideal dessert for any 4th of July gathering. It's easy to make, beautiful to look at, and deliciously refreshing. Whether you're serving it at a picnic or a backyard barbecue, this pie will bring the flavors of summer to your table in a unique and exciting way. So, grab your watermelon and pie crust and get ready to enjoy this simple yet stunning treat. Fried chicken picnic style. Nothing says summer like a big plate of crispy golden fried chicken, and Betty Crocker's fried chicken picnic style takes this classic dish and transforms it into the ultimate picnic or 4th of July treat. Fried chicken has long been a staple at family gatherings, church picnics, and barbecues, but Betty's recipe takes it up a notch with a perfectly seasoned, crispy coating and juicy, tender meat on the inside. It's the kind of dish that brings everyone together, where each crunchy bite is as satisfying as the last. Whether you're preparing it for a casual outdoor gathering or a more festive holiday meal, this fried chicken is sure to become a favorite at your next 4th of July celebration. The charm of Betty Crocker's fried chicken picnic style lies in its simplicity, yet there's an undeniable depth of flavor that makes it stand out. The chicken is seasoned with a mixture of salt, pepper, and a few secret spices, creating a savory base for the crispy crust. The real magic, however, happens in the coating. A combination of flour, cornmeal, and just the right amount of seasoning creates a crust that's crispy on the outside while keeping the meat perfectly moist and tender on the inside. The use of cornmeal gives the chicken a bit of extra crunch and texture, making each bite more satisfying. To make this fried chicken picnic style, you begin by preparing the chicken. You can use a mix of drumsticks, thighs, and wings, or just your favorite cut. The chicken is first soaked in a buttermilk marinade, which not only tenderizes the meat, but also imparts a slight tanginess that pairs beautifully with the fried coating. The buttermilk mixture also helps the flour and cornmeal coating adhere to the chicken, ensuring that every piece is evenly covered with the crispy crust. Once the chicken has marinated for a few hours, it's time to dredge it in the flour and cornmeal mixture. Betty Crocker's recipe calls for a seasoned coating that includes salt, pepper, and a pinch of paprika, giving the chicken a warm, slightly smoky flavor that complements the crispy crust. The key is to make sure the chicken is coated evenly, ensuring that every piece gets that perfect golden crunch when fried. The frying process is where the magic truly happens. In a large skillet or deep fryer, heat a generous amount of vegetable oil over medium-high heat. Once the oil is hot, you can test it by dropping in a small piece of bread. If it sizzles, you're ready to go. Gently lower the chicken into the oil. Fry the chicken in batches, making sure not to overcrowd the pan, which can lower the oil temperature and make the coating soggy. Fry each piece for about 10 to 12 minutes, or until golden brown and cooked through. The chicken should reach an internal temperature of 165 degrees, ensuring that it's fully cooked and safe to eat. Once the chicken is fried to perfection, place it on a wire rack or paper towels to drain any excess oil. This helps maintain that crispy exterior and prevents the chicken from becoming greasy. Betty Crocker's fried chicken picnic style is best served hot or at room temperature, making it an ideal dish for a 4th of July picnic or backyard barbecue. The crispy coating and juicy meat make it a perfect companion to classic sides like potato salad, baked beans, or corn on the cob. Whether you're enjoying it at a picnic table under the sun or as part of a more formal holiday spread, this fried chicken brings that comforting, nostalgic flavor that will remind everyone of summer days gone by. Simple, delicious, and perfect for sharing, this fried chicken picnic style is a must-have for your 4th of July menu. Vintage creamed spinach. When it comes to side dishes for a 4th of July feast, vegetables don't always get the spotlight they deserve. But Betty Crocker's vintage creamed spinach is one vegetable dish that will steal the show and make even the most devoted meat lovers take a second look. Creamed spinach has been a comforting favorite for generations, and Betty's version from the 1950s and 60s adds the perfect touch of richness to your summer spread. With its smooth, velvety sauce and tender spinach, this dish combines the earthy flavor of fresh greens with the luxurious, creamy texture that makes it irresistibly satisfying. What makes vintage creamed spinach so special is its simple yet indulgent ingredients. The spinach is cooked down until tender, but it's the creamy sauce that makes the dish truly shine. A base of butter and cream is seasoned with a pinch of nutmeg, which brings a surprising warmth and depth to the dish. A little Parmesan cheese adds a salty richness, and a bit of flour helps thicken the sauce into a luscious, smooth consistency. The result is a creamy, flavorful side dish that complements heavier mains like barbecued meats, fried chicken, or grilled sausages, and it adds a touch of elegance to any summer meal. Making vintage creamed spinach starts with fresh spinach. Either frozen or fresh works, but the fresh variety gives the dish a vibrant color and a lighter texture. If you're using fresh spinach, you'll need to wash and trim the leaves, then cook them down in a bit of butter or oil until they're wilted and tender. If you're using frozen spinach, simply thaw it and drain it thoroughly to remove any excess moisture, which helps prevent the sauce from becoming too watery. Next, you'll make the creamy sauce. In a large skillet, melt butter and add a bit of flour to make a roux. This will thicken the sauce and give it that creamy, velvety texture. After the roux is cooked for a minute or so, slowly add milk or cream for an extra rich version while whisking to prevent lumps. Continue to cook until the sauce thickens, then season with salt, pepper, and a pinch of nutmeg. Nutmeg might seem like an unusual addition, but it brings a warmth to the dish that perfectly complements the richness of the cream and the mild flavor of the spinach. Once the sauce is thickened and smooth, stir in grated Parmesan cheese for an extra layer of depth and savory goodness. Once the sauce is ready, add the cooked spinach and gently stir it into the creamy mixture. Let everything cook together for a few minutes, allowing the flavors to meld and the spinach to soak up all that delicious creamy goodness. Taste and adjust the seasoning with salt and pepper, and you're done. Betty Crocker's vintage creamed spinach is best served hot, as the creamy sauce is at its most luscious when it's fresh out of the pan. This dish is a great side for your 4th of July menu, offering a delightful contrast to the smoky, savory flavors of the grilled meats and barbecue. The rich, creamy spinach adds a touch of sophistication while still being down to earth enough to feel comforting and familiar. Whether served alongside fried chicken, burgers, or ribs, this creamed spinach will definitely become a hit at your holiday table. Hot dog casserole. Hot dogs are a classic 4th of July favorite, grilled, topped with mustard and ketchup, and eaten by the handful. But Betty Crocker's hot dog casserole takes the humble hot dog and turns it into a cozy, unexpected dish that will have your guests talking. This casserole is a throwback to simpler times, when casseroles were the heart of family meals, and they offered an easy, delicious way to feed a crowd. The hot dogs are sliced and combined with creamy, cheesy layers of ingredients, then baked until bubbly and golden. It's comfort food at its finest, with a fun twist that makes it a perfect addition to your 4th of July spread. What makes hot dog casserole so special is how it takes the familiar flavors of a hot dog and transforms them into something a little more substantial, a little more comforting. The hot dogs are the star of the dish, but they're joined by a creamy, cheesy sauce made from a blend of milk, cheese, and a touch of mustard. This adds richness and flavor to the casserole, balancing the savory, salty taste of the hot dogs. A topping of crispy breadcrumbs gives the dish a satisfying crunch that contrasts beautifully with the creamy filling. The best part? It's incredibly easy to make, yet it's hearty enough to serve as a main dish or a side that will fill everyone up. To make hot dog casserole, you start by preheating the oven and preparing your casserole dish. You'll need a baking dish. 9 by 13 inches works best for this recipe. Begin by slicing your hot dogs into bite-sized pieces. You can use your favorite brand or go for an all-beef version for a slightly richer flavor. Once the hot dogs are sliced, they're layered at the bottom of the casserole dish. Next, you'll make the creamy sauce that brings everything together. In a saucepan, combine milk, a generous amount of shredded cheddar cheese, and a touch of mustard. Betty Crocker's recipe calls for yellow mustard, which gives the sauce a tangy kick that complements the richness of the cheese. Stir everything together until the cheese melts and the sauce is smooth. Then pour the sauce over the sliced hot dogs, making sure everything is evenly covered. For added texture and flavor, sprinkle a layer of breadcrumbs over the top of the casserole. This creates a nice crispy topping that contrasts with the creamy filling. You can use store-bought breadcrumbs or make your own from toasted bread. Either way, they'll add a satisfying crunch. After the casserole is assembled, it goes into the oven to bake. It only needs about 25 to 30 minutes to heat through and allow the cheese sauce to bubble and thicken. The top should be golden brown and crispy, with the cheese sauce underneath creamy and gooey. Betty Crocker's hot dog casserole is perfect for 4th of July celebrations because it's easy to prepare, feeds a crowd, and provides a fun twist on the classic hot dog. It pairs beautifully with other summer favorites like potato salad, baked beans, or corn on the cob. Whether you serve it as a side dish or make it the star of your meal, this casserole will surely be a hit. It's a comforting, flavorful dish that's full of nostalgia, and it's the kind of recipe that's perfect for bringing friends and family together on a summer day. Sizzling skillet peppers and onions. There's something undeniably satisfying about the simplicity and boldness of sizzling skillet peppers and onions. This dish is the perfect addition to your 4th of July spread, offering a colorful and flavorful side that complements almost any main course. Betty Crocker's version from the mid-20th century brings out the best in these humble vegetables, turning them into a sizzling, smoky delight that fills the air with mouth-watering aromas. Whether served alongside grilled burgers, barbecued chicken, or even a hearty steak, sizzling skillet peppers and onions add a fresh, savory contrast that makes every bite feel special. What makes this dish so great is how it takes simple ingredients, bell peppers, onions, and a bit of seasoning, and turns them into something truly delicious. The key lies in the sautéing process, where the vegetables are cooked until they're tender and slightly caramelized, which brings out their natural sweetness and depth of flavor. A touch of vinegar and brown sugar balances out the savory and sweet elements, giving the dish a bit of tang and sweetness without overwhelming the natural flavors of the peppers and onions. It's a perfect side dish to balance out the richness of grilled meats or to bring a little color and flavor to your summer table. To make Betty Crocker's sizzling skillet peppers and onions, you start by preparing your vegetables. Choose a mix of colorful bell peppers, red, yellow, and green, for a vibrant presentation. Slice them into thin strips, making sure they're uniform in size so they cook evenly. Next, slice a large onion into similar-sized strips. The onions will soften and caramelize as they cook, adding a rich, slightly sweet flavor to the dish. In a large skillet, heat a bit of oil over medium-high heat. Once the oil is hot, add the sliced onions first, letting them cook for a couple of minutes until they begin to soften and turn golden. Add the bell peppers to the pan, stirring everything together. Cook the mixture for about 10 to 12 minutes, stirring occasionally to ensure the vegetables cook evenly and don't burn. The goal is to cook the peppers and onions until they're tender and slightly browned, allowing the natural sugars to caramelize and create a deep, savory flavor. Once the peppers and onions are nearly done, it's time to add a little extra flavor. A splash of vinegar, apple cider vinegar, works wonderfully, adds brightness and tang, while a pinch of brown sugar brings out the sweetness of the vegetables. Stir everything together and cook for another minute or so, allowing the vinegar to reduce and the sugar to dissolve, creating a flavorful glaze that coats the vegetables. Season with salt and pepper to taste. Once the sizzling skillet peppers and onions are cooked to perfection, serve them hot, straight from the skillet. The combination of tender peppers, sweet onions, and the rich, slightly tangy sauce makes this dish the perfect accompaniment to any summer barbecue. It's simple yet full of flavor, and it brings a fresh, vibrant note to your holiday meal. Whether served as a side to grilled meats or as a topping for burgers and sausages, these peppers and onions are sure to be a crowd favorite at your 4th of July celebration. Chocolate fudge cake. There's something about a rich, decadent chocolate cake that feels like the perfect way to wrap up a celebration. Betty Crocker's chocolate fudge cake from the 1960s is the epitome of indulgence, moist, fudgy, and loaded with deep chocolate flavor. This dessert was the go-to sweet treat at many family gatherings, and it's the kind of cake that makes everyone pause, take a breath, and enjoy each bite. Perfect for a 4th of July celebration, this cake is both easy to make and hard to resist, and it brings a nostalgic sense of comfort and joy to your summer spread. The magic of chocolate fudge cake lies in its simplicity. The ingredients are basic: cocoa powder, sugar, eggs, and flour, but when combined, they create a cake that's unbelievably rich and moist. The secret to the cake's fudgy texture comes from the use of melted chocolate and a generous amount of butter, which keep the cake soft and dense while still being light enough to enjoy a second slice. Topped with a thick, glossy chocolate fudge frosting, this cake is the perfect balance of sweetness and deep chocolate flavor, making it a true crowd pleaser. To make Betty Crocker's chocolate fudge cake, you begin by preparing the cake batter. Start by sifting together the dry ingredients: flour, sugar, cocoa powder, baking powder, and a pinch of salt. Sifting the ingredients ensures that the cocoa powder and baking powder are evenly distributed throughout the flour, giving the cake a smooth, even texture. In a separate bowl, combine the wet ingredients, which include eggs, melted butter, and milk. Beat the wet ingredients together until they're well combined and smooth. Once the wet and dry ingredients are mixed, combine them and stir until the batter is just combined. Be careful not to overmix, as this can cause the cake to be dense rather than light. Then, gently fold in the melted chocolate. The melted chocolate adds depth and richness to the cake, making it extra fudgy and indulgent. Pour the batter into a prepared cake pan, ensuring that it's evenly distributed. Betty Crocker's recipe calls for a standard 9-inch round cake pan, but you can easily adjust the size depending on what you have available. The cake is baked in a preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Once the cake is done, let it cool in the pan for about 10 minutes before transferring it to a wire rack to cool completely. Cooling the cake properly ensures that the texture remains light and fluffy, and it gives you the perfect base for the rich, creamy frosting. For the frosting, Betty's recipe calls for a simple fudge-like glaze made from melted chocolate, butter, and powdered sugar. Once the cake has cooled, pour the frosting over the top, allowing it to drip down the sides. The frosting hardens slightly as it cools, creating a glossy, fudgy finish that's both visually striking and mouth-wateringly delicious. Betty Crocker's chocolate fudge cake is the perfect finale to your 4th of July feast. It's easy to make, yet impressive enough to be the star of the dessert table. The combination of rich chocolate cake and smooth, fudgy frosting makes this dessert irresistible, and it's bound to become a favorite for years to come. Whether you're serving it to a crowd or enjoying a quiet moment with family, this cake offers the perfect balance of indulgence and nostalgia, making it the perfect treat for any celebration. Ice cream sandwiches with a twist. Who doesn't love a classic ice cream sandwich? It's a nostalgic dessert that brings to mind lazy summer days, backyard barbecues, and the sweet satisfaction of a simple treat. But Betty Crocker's ice cream sandwiches with a twist from the 1960s takes this classic to the next level, adding a little extra flair with a surprise twist that elevates the humble dessert into something truly special. Imagine 2 soft, chewy cookies sandwiching a scoop of creamy vanilla ice cream, but with a fun addition of rolled-up toppings like crushed nuts, chocolate chips, or sprinkles to add texture and a pop of color. This version adds a touch of creativity while still maintaining the charm and simplicity of the original. The beauty of ice cream sandwiches with a twist lies in their versatility. You can use any cookie you like as the base: chocolate chip, oatmeal, or even peanut butter. Betty Crocker's recipe calls for classic chocolate chip cookies, which pair perfectly with vanilla ice cream. The trick is to make sure the cookies are soft enough to bend slightly when you bite into them, but sturdy enough to hold the ice cream in place without falling apart. The ice cream itself is the traditional vanilla flavor, but feel free to get creative with any ice cream you love. You could even use flavored ice creams like chocolate, strawberry, or mint for a unique variation. To make these indulgent ice cream sandwiches with a twist, you begin by baking the cookies. Betty Crocker's classic chocolate chip cookie dough is incredibly easy to make. You'll need butter, sugar, brown sugar, eggs, vanilla extract, flour, and of course, chocolate chips. Once you've mixed the dough, drop spoonfuls of it onto a baking sheet and bake at 350 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. The cookies should come out slightly soft in the center, but firm up as they cool, giving them that perfect texture for the sandwiches. Once the cookies are baked and cooled, it's time to assemble your ice cream sandwiches. Take one cookie, place a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top, and gently press another cookie onto the ice cream to form the sandwich. It's important to work quickly, especially if you're using homemade ice cream, as it can melt quickly. Once the sandwich is formed, you can roll the edges of the ice cream in your choice of toppings. Crushed nuts, mini chocolate chips, or colorful sprinkles are all great options, adding a little crunch and visual appeal to your ice cream sandwich. After assembling all your sandwiches, place them in the freezer for about 30 minutes to allow the ice cream to firm up again. This makes them easier to handle and keeps the ice cream from melting too fast when served. Betty Crocker's ice cream sandwiches with a twist are a fun, customizable dessert that adds a burst of color and flavor to your 4th of July spread. These sandwiches are easy to make, perfect for a crowd, and the combination of chewy cookies and creamy ice cream is always a hit. Whether you serve them at a casual picnic or a more formal summer gathering, these ice cream sandwiches will bring joy to all ages, making them the perfect treat to cool down on a hot summer day. Lemonade pie. When the summer sun is shining and the heat is rising, nothing hits the spot like a refreshing, cool dessert. Betty Crocker's lemonade pie is the perfect 4th of July treat to offer just the right balance of tartness and sweetness in a light, no-bake dessert. This retro dessert has all the right flavors to evoke the essence of summer. The bright, citrusy zing of lemonade combined with a smooth, creamy filling, all nestled in a buttery graham cracker crust. It's easy to prepare, making it ideal for a busy holiday celebration when you want something light and refreshing to balance out the heavier barbecue fare. What makes lemonade pie so special is how effortlessly it captures the refreshing taste of lemonade, turning it into a creamy, indulgent pie that's not too sweet and not too tart. The filling is made with a combination of lemonade concentrate, sweetened condensed milk, and whipped topping. The tangy lemonade concentrate gives the pie its bright flavor, while the condensed milk adds a rich, velvety smoothness that perfectly complements the tartness of the citrus. The whipped topping brings lightness and airiness, making the pie as refreshing as it is creamy. Tucked inside a crisp graham cracker crust, this pie is the perfect dessert for a hot 4th of July day. To make lemonade pie, you start by preparing the graham cracker crust. The crust is made by mixing crushed graham crackers with sugar and melted butter, then pressing it into the bottom of a pie pan. Once the crust is baked for about 10 minutes to set, it's left to cool while you prepare the filling. The crust offers a nice buttery contrast to the creamy, tangy filling and provides that perfect crunch in each bite. Next, you prepare the lemon filling. In a large bowl, combine the sweetened condensed milk with the lemonade concentrate. The lemonade concentrate is the star of the filling, adding that signature tartness that gives the pie its refreshing flavor. Stir until the condensed milk and lemonade concentrate are fully mixed. Then, gently fold in the whipped topping until it's well combined, giving the mixture that light, airy texture. Once the filling is ready, pour it into the cooled graham cracker crust and smooth the top to create an even surface. Place the pie in the refrigerator to chill for several hours, or preferably overnight. This chilling time allows the filling to firm up, setting the pie to the perfect consistency. The result is a creamy, tangy dessert with a buttery, crunchy base that's both refreshing and satisfying. Betty Crocker's lemonade pie is a sweet, cool, and easy dessert that's perfect for any summer gathering, but it's especially well-suited for 4th of July celebrations. It pairs beautifully with other picnic fare like grilled meats and potato salad, offering a zesty contrast to heavier, richer dishes. Whether you're serving it at a casual backyard barbecue or a festive holiday picnic, this pie will bring a touch of brightness and elegance to your summer spread. Outro. As we wrap up this delicious journey through some of the best forgotten 4th of July recipes from Betty Crocker's vintage cookbooks, it's clear that these dishes hold a special place in the heart of summer celebrations. From the colorful, patriotic Jell-O salad to the rich, indulgent chocolate fudge cake, each recipe brings its own unique twist on nostalgia, offering a taste of simpler times when family picnics, barbecues, and shared meals were about more than just food. They were about bringing people together. These recipes remind us of the beauty in tradition, in the way food has the power to evoke memories and create new ones. Whether you're hosting a big 4th of July bash or enjoying a quiet afternoon with loved ones, these dishes will undoubtedly add a comforting, flavorful touch to your celebration. And while the ingredients and techniques may seem a little old-fashioned, there's something timeless about the joy these recipes bring, joy that never goes out of style. So this 4th of July, as you gather around the table with family and friends, don't forget to include a few of these vintage favorites. With their simplicity, heartiness, and undeniable charm, they'll not only fill your plates, but also your hearts, creating a celebration that's as full of flavor as it is full of memories. Happy cooking, and here's to making new traditions with a delicious twist on the past.